Welcome to the north arm of Murtle Lake, an absolutely idyllic lake in British Columbia's Wellsgrave Provincial Park and the largest paddle-only lake in North America, a trip worthy of any bucket list. Unfortunately, not all that glitters is gold. This trip started in episode 1 on the west arm with pristine waters, sandy beaches, and beautiful sunsets. But in part 2, things start to go south on the north arm of Murtle Lake. So let's go. Well, good morning. My tent is all packed up, and everything is also mostly packed up and ready to go. I just got to transfer my food over into my day use bag, and then we'll be out of here after I load up the canoe, I guess. I think I'll be gone in like 20 minutes. It's about 10 to 8 now, so I should be on the road by 8:15, and that'll give me a good start. This is going to be a long day, probably the longest of the trip. Not 100% sure the distance, but it might be, I don't really know, but it's almost certainly the longest of the trip. So with that being said, like I said, I'm just going to shuffle a few things around, load up the canoe, and we're going to get out of here. As I get situated here to start day 3, I get my bags packed, water filtered, and then start loading up the canoe. I did mention it in the intro, but I do highly recommend watching part 1 of this trip. And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to this channel, and maybe donate on Patreon. Anyways, at this point of the trip, I had all my systems down, and I was pretty quickly ready to get in my canoe and paddle on what I can only assume will be another perfect day out here on Murtle Lake. Okay, we are officially on the water. I spent a little bit of time talking to my camping mates, so it's about 8:30 just about now. And if you look, we're going down to this point, and we're going left. And that'll take us up the north arm. It should be pretty good, but like I said, it is a long day. All the campsites on the west side of the north arm are closed due to wildfire. I don't think there's a real active wildfire threat, but they are closed, so I'm gonna have to avoid those. So I might cross over, but I'm not really sure. But with that being said, I'm just gonna go, head down, turn left, and explore the north arm of Murtle Lake. Let's go. As I mentioned, before I got canoeing, I spent a while talking to my campsite mates, Aaron and Orrin, who, unrelated, did eat fresh fish every night while I ate out of a bag. Anyways, as we were chatting, Aaron asked if he could pray for me. Well, that's not normally my thing. Since he felt compelled, I just went along with it. It can't hurt, and if someone wants to share something with you, let them share it. And in hindsight, I think Aaron might have sensed that I was about to do something stupid. Or at least, that's the general vibe that I give off. Okay, I just got to this point here and I decided to take a break. I've been paddling just about an hour and I did not track myself because I forgot to push the start button, but I probably got about 5K. I thought once I crested this point, I was going to have a straight shot up the arm and I was going to be able to see the end, but that was not true. And I think that arm way out there, or that point, is going to be where I can see the end. So this is in fact going to be a long day. One thing to note, there is wildfire smoke that you can see, and I can smell it a bit, which is a little bit unnerving considering I am going where there was no wildfire smoke into where there is, which sounds like a bad idea, because it might be, but actually I'm not concerned. With that being said, I'm just going to keep going and have a little snack, and then I'm just going to keep going, push up the arm, and that's it. As I push further up the north arm, I can't help but notice the differences between the north arm and the west. The lake just feels bigger here. Bigger, deeper, wider, more unforgiving. The north arm feels like a whole different world, and I like it. Well, I just pulled into campsite number 13, Sunshine Cove. And technically this campsite is closed because if you see all the smoke on the lake and you come up here, you can actually see the smoldering of the fire right there. So 13, 14, and 15 are all closed. So the goal is to get to the very end of this lake, but I'm probably going to cross over at some point. But if you see the beaches there, and I think there's one further up there, those will be the next two campsites, which are also closed. So this side is on fire. Oh. Big old eagle. Anyways, this side is on fire, so I'm probably going to stay for this side for till the lake narrows. Probably hop over, not 100% sure yet. But this whole side of the lake is a totally different. It's just totally different. Like the mountains are bigger, the lake is deeper. It is honestly more beautiful in my opinion. But yeah, good to be here. But I should probably stop talking because I am in the campsite that is closed due to fire. So let's go. After getting off the beach, I load myself up with sunscreen, get hydrated, and have a snack, which all leaves me with plenty of time to fire watch and think. So I spent a little time here just watching that fire, and it is definitely on fire. I can't see any flame, but the smoke is constantly changing, and it does have me feeling some kind of way. It feels weird to continue, but that's what I'm going to do. My camp is going to be way further down, but the longer I watch it, the more it makes you think, like, what am I doing? Why would I keep going? It's pretty wild. You can actually hear it, like, crackling away like a campfire. All the way down here. But anyways, I've watched this thing too long. I'm just freaking myself out, and I got a long way to go. I'm trying to get to the end, so I think I probably got like 15 more K. Anyways, we're just gonna get after it. As I get after it, I just tell myself that it's fine. My level of concern kicks in at a considerably lower level than it needs to. I remember being at Slocan Lake while there was a fire burning up on the mountain, and I was thinking about packing up and going home. But then an older lady in a kayak, a local, came paddling up to the same side I was at and all but laughed at my concerns. With that thought in my head, I continue to press on along with what has now become a burnt and charred shoreline. Paddling along, you can really begin to see the true scale of what had happened here. I can't believe that I was totally oblivious to this earlier in the day, and I have now come to realize why Aaron felt the need to pray for me. I was, in fact, about to do something stupid. Well, I just had to pull over. See there? The wind was picking up and it was getting pretty choppy. And there's this nice beach here, nice-ish beach here. So I kind of feel like I had to pull over and at least wait this wind out a bit. But there is no fire here, which is good. But there's some sort of little lagoon area. And you can see up there was all burnt. So I don't really want to be here, but I don't really have a choice right now because I do want this wind to pass by. So I'm just gonna sit here. The last few days the wind has kind of stopped, picked up by like this time and then kind of cooled down a bit. So I'm gonna sit here and wait. Yeah, that's really all I'm gonna do. There are campsites on the other side, so if the wind does calm, I'll fly over to the other side, or I'm stuck pushing it to the end, or I could be stuck on this beach, but we have a long time to wait before that becomes a reality. So yeah, literally just gonna sit, wait. So I have waited on my beach here for about an hour now, and the situation has changed. There's a new hot spot of this fire over here, which is not that far away from me, and the wind has died down, but not fully. But considering I'm on this side with the fire, what I've decided to do is there's a campsite over here that I'm just gonna get across and backtrack to that campsite. I'm kind of over the thought of waiting it out and seeing if I can get to the end. I'm just gonna go across. It doesn't look that bad, and we're just gonna go to that campsite, reassess, but I am kind of over it. In hindsight, it was a bad idea to continue on past the forest fire. I should have not done that. Anyways, I'm gonna cross. So the conditions weren't incredibly difficult, but I felt like they were only gonna get worse in the short term. So I just had to go. And as I paddled across the lake, I ended up hearing thunder in the distance to the north, right as I was in the middle of the lake. And while that thunder didn't escalate, it was pretty uncomfortable for a few minutes. To me, one of the biggest parts of solo adventuring is risk mitigation, and I dropped the ball on that today. I should have never stayed on the fire side as long as I did. I should have crossed to the safe side as soon as possible, probably before 10 a.m., like the information sign I never read suggested. Ultimately though, everything was fine. It wasn't really that bad, and I learned a lesson. So I'll take the L on that and use it to live to fight another day. Okay, we are at Moonlight Bay campsite, and this is home for the night. I got my canoe already over and unpacked. Everything is up here at the site. I'm about ready to set my tarp up. On the way over here, that was something. I did hear a few rolls of thunder, and I was quite concerned that some lightning might follow, and it still might follow, but I'm off the water now, so I'm not concerned. But I'm gonna put my tent up here ASAP, just in case it does thunder, lightning, bring some rain. I want to have my shelter ready, but I am glad to be off that water. Day 3, I kind of disappointed I didn't make it to the end, but ultimately that's where the thunder was. I don't want to be there. That side of the lake's on fire. I just got to get off that side of the lake. So I am glad to be here where I am. So I am not upset that I did not go further. Yeah, anyway, I gotta relax. That's what I gotta do. I gotta relax. So I'm just making myself dinner. I got this Peak Refuel cheesy chicken and broccoli. That's tonight. I got my water already boiled, just ready to go in. But I have noticed that all the wind and waves is going the opposite way. And we do have a pretty good breeze. It comes in gusts. And I have heard a couple more rolls of thunder. So I think we might be in for it tonight. I'm not really sure. The sky still looks fairly good, like where I'm at. But over there, and I did go to the point and look that way, and it looked a little rougher over there. So I feel like we might get hit with something, but either way, I'm gonna make dinner. I'm doing this a little early just in case I have to retreat back into the tent because I'm not putting up a tarp. Anyways, I'm gonna make some dinner. To make a long story short, the wind blew for a couple of hours, but then passed. So I spend the night watching the fire smolder across the way, occasionally flaring up too, and then I went to bed. Well, good morning. Welcome to the final day here at Murtle Lake. So originally I came here with the intention of canoeing the whole lake, and I was prepared for up to 5 days, and it is currently day 4, but I have decided that I am done. If I were to continue to the end and back, I would need to stay at this campsite another night because it's the only one that works logistically. And after yesterday's incident, I'm kind of just over it. I I was prepared for 5 days, but the whole time I did think it was going to be 4 days. And yesterday I was 100% sold on the fact that that was my second to last day. So I don't want to extend it. I'm just done. So with that being said, we're going to head back. There's a nice beach down there, which I think I'm going to head to, stop for breakfast. But yeah, other than that, I just got everything is out, half packed up. And I just got to finish packing it up, get some water, have a quick snack, and then we're going to head to that beach for breakfast on my final day at Murtle Lake. As I head out onto Murtle Lake for the last time, everything is calm and the fickle skies of yesterday are just a memory. And I'm right back into the paddler's paradise that I came for. But I guess I never really left. I came to Murtle for an adventure, and Murtle gave me an adventure. It wasn't the way I drew it up, but it was the way it was written. Ultimately, it's Big Murtle who has the final say here. Now let's eat. So I just pulled up on this not so sandy beach and we are about to have breakfast. I have a, what do I have here? I got a Alpine Air vaquero egg scramble and hopefully it's good. I've talked multiple times about how much I like the Peak Refuel breakfast scrambles, and I keep avoiding eating this to eat one, but I'm giving it a go today. So vaquero egg scramble on this not so sandy beach, and after that I'll probably put on some sunscreen, and we got a long way to go. I think we're aiming for like this far peak down there, point down there, and that'll be it for the day. I think it's probably about 15k and we've gone 3, so we have a long way to go. These loons, it's crazy the sound that these loons make. Oh, turn that off. Pocket spoon. Stirry stir. Oh yeah. I'll put that in there. Take it to go. With breakfast in tow, I was ready to take off again. Today's paddle was 17.5 kilometers, so I still had a long way to go. Breakfast was good, by the way. That's good. Now fueled up, I just pressed on. I was all business today, and my plan was to go full out until the finish line. That's not to say I wasn't taking the time to enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoyed almost every paddle stroke I took today. Well, I just want to note that it is quite choppy. I guess because of this valley being open up there, The current and wind is coming in off that side of the lake. Anyways, it's quite choppy, and it is getting close to like 12:30. So I was sort of, when the wind picked up yesterday, it's 12:31. Anyways, I'm getting relatively close, so I'm just gonna put my head down, keep paddling, and get into that lagoon, because I am ready to be done. I'm totally ready to be done. Anyways, let's finish this thing. So, well, yes, the waves had picked up because of the openness of the lake there, but it was also the time for a little bit of weather to move in. For the second day in a row, I could hear thunder out in the distance as I finished my paddling for the day. This time they sounded like they were coming from the general area of the lagoon. But again, the thunder never escalated to anything more than distant thunder. For the next couple of days, I ended up staying in Blue River, where I too had early afternoon thunder. I think that might just be a fact of life here, so be prepared. You probably want to be off the water early, or at least be ready to. And like the sign said, don't cross the lakes after 10, or in my opinion, do it before 12:30. But that, I guess, just about wraps things up. I leave Myrtle behind with a little bit of unfinished business, and that's something that'll keep her in my mind long after I'm gone. And maybe that was the trick Myrtle was playing on me this whole time. Well, there we go. We just got on shore of the Murtle Lake and Murtle Lake Lagoon. I heard a few bits of thunder on the way home, which kept me paddling fast. And technically this trip's not quite over because we do have 2.5 kilometers more to portage. But for you, that's it. That's the end of this episode. Sargent, Murtle Lake. Peace.